What if I told you that right now, while your outdoor garden sleeps under frost, you could be harvesting crispy greens and crunchy radishes from your kitchen counter in just 3 weeks? No fancy greenhouse, no expensive equipment. Stay with me because what I'm about to show you will change how you think about winter gardening forever. Welcome back to Timeless Gardens, where we grow more while spending less. If you're new here, you've just stumbled into a community of smart gardeners who refuse to let winter win. I'm so glad you're here today because this video is going to be different. Here's the deal. I'm going to walk you through 7 vegetables that practically grow themselves indoors during winter, and I promise you, by the end of this video, you'll wonder why you haven't been doing this all along. So grab a cup of coffee, get comfortable, and let me show you something special. Let me start with something most gardening channels won't tell you. Winter indoor gardening isn't about replacing your summer garden. It's about having fresh food when everyone else is paying premium prices at the grocery store. It's about walking to your windowsill instead of driving to the market. And honestly, it's about that incredible feeling of biting into something you grew when there's snow on the ground. Now, I've tested dozens of vegetables indoors over the past 5 winters, and I've narrowed it down to these 7 champions. These aren't just vegetables that survive indoors. These are the ones that actually thrive, grow fast, and give you that quick satisfaction we all crave as gardeners. First up, let's talk about microgreens, but not the way you've heard before. Forget everything you know about those tiny, delicate sprouts. I'm talking about fast blast greens that go from seed to plate in 7 to 10 days. Yeah, you heard that right. 10 days. Here's what makes them perfect for winter. They need minimal light, barely any space, and you can grow them in something as simple as a takeout container. I'm currently growing sunflower shoots, pea shoots, and radish microgreens on my kitchen counter, and they're giving me more nutrition per bite than most mature vegetables. The secret nobody talks about? Stack your trays. I learned this from a commercial grower who was kind enough to spill the beans. For the first 3 days, keep your seeds in darkness with a weighted tray on top. This creates pressure that makes the stems thick and crunchy instead of thin and wimpy. Then, once they pop, give them light and watch them explode with growth. Cost-wise, you're looking at pennies per harvest. A $50 investment in seeds will keep you in microgreens for an entire year. And here's the kicker. Restaurants charge $15 for a tiny handful of these. You'll be growing pounds of them. Number 2 is something that surprised even me. Salad radishes. Now, I know what you're thinking. Radishes? Really? But hear me out, because this is where it gets interesting. Most people think radishes need deep soil and outdoor conditions. Wrong. Radishes are actually perfect for shallow containers, and they mature in 3 to 4 weeks indoors. I'm growing mine in containers that are only 6 inches deep, and they're coming out perfectly round and crispy. The variety matters here. Skip the big winter radishes and go for French breakfast or cherry bell varieties. These are naturally compact, and they don't mind the lower light levels indoors. Plus, they add this amazing peppery crunch to winter salads that you just can't buy in stores during cold months. Here's my unconventional tip: grow them thick. Everyone tells you to thin radishes, but indoors, I plant them close and harvest the thinnings as microgreens. Then the remaining radishes size up nicely. You're essentially getting 2 harvests from 1 planting. Coming in at number 3, and this is where people always raise their eyebrows, we have baby carrots. Not the fake baby carrot from the store, they're just shaved down big carrots. I'm talking about actual baby carrot varieties like Babette or Littlefinger. These varieties are bred to mature at just 3 to 4 inches long, which means you can grow them in containers that fit on any sunny windowsill. They're sweet, tender, and ready to harvest in about 50 to 60 days. That's quick for carrots. The game changer for indoor carrots is using a really light, fluffy growing medium. I mix coconut coir with perlite in a 2-to-1 ratio. This gives the roots an easy path to grow without any rocks or clumps blocking them. Regular potting soil is often too dense for carrots indoors. And here's something I discovered by accident. Carrots actually taste sweeter when grown in cooler indoor temperatures. So that chilly windowsill you thought was useless? Perfect carrot real estate. Quick pause here. If you're getting value from this and thinking about trying even one of these vegetables, do me a favor. hit that like button right now. It tells YouTube that real gardeners like you want to see this kind of content. And if you haven't subscribed yet, click that subscribe button because we're doing a winter growing series all month long and you don't want to miss what's coming next. Trust me on this one. All right, number 4 is going to sound too easy, and that's because it is. Lettuce, but not the way you've tried before. We're going for loose leaf varieties that you can harvest over and over again using the cut and come again method. Varieties like Butter Crunch, Oak Leaf, and Red Sails are absolute indoor rock stars. They don't need full sun like head lettuces do. They're happy with just 4 to 5 hours of bright indirect light or a small grow light. And here's the beautiful part. You start snipping leaves when they're just 3 inches tall. I keep 3 containers on rotation. While I'm harvesting from one, the others are growing. This gives me fresh salad greens every single week through winter. No more buying those expensive plastic containers of spring mix that go slimy in 2 days. The trick to keeping lettuce sweet indoors is temperature. Lettuce hates heat, but in winter, our homes are usually perfect. Keep them in your coolest room, ideally around 60 to 65 degrees. A north-facing windowsill works beautifully. Number 5 is where things get fun. Scallions, also known as green onions or spring onions. These might be the most rewarding indoor crop you'll ever grow because they're impossible to mess up. Here's what makes scallions brilliant for indoor winter growing. You can literally start them from the grocery store. Buy a bunch, use the green parts for cooking, then stick the white root ends in a jar of water or directly in soil. Within a week, you'll see new green growth shooting up. Within 2 weeks, you're harvesting. For a continuous supply, I keep a container on my counter where I'm constantly planting new root ends. Some are ready to harvest, while others are just starting. It's like a little scallion factory that costs almost nothing to maintain. They need decent light, but they're forgiving. A bright kitchen window works fine. And the flavor of homegrown scallions is sharper and more complex than anything you'll find at the store. Once you taste the difference, there's no going back. Number 6 is spinach, but I'm going to teach you the fast-track method that cuts your growing time in half. Most people grow spinach the traditional way and wait forever for mature leaves. We're not doing that. Baby spinach is where it's at for indoor growing. You're harvesting at 2 to 3 inches tall, which happens in about 3 weeks from seed. The leaves are tender, sweet, and packed with even more nutrients than mature spinach. I use a wide, shallow container and broadcast the seeds fairly thick. Think of it more like growing microgreens than traditional spinach. This works because we're harvesting early, so the plants never compete for space. The variety matters here too. Look for something called Space or Bloomsdale Longstanding. These handle indoor conditions better than other varieties. They're slower to bolt, which means they stay sweet longer even if your indoor temps fluctuate. Here's my weird trick. After I harvest, I leave the roots in the soil and just keep watering. About half the time, the plants will actually regrow for a second smaller cutting. It's not much, but hey, free spinach is free spinach. And finally, number 7. This one is my personal favorite because it feels the most like cheating. Fresh herbs, specifically the quick-growing trio, cilantro, dill, and parsley. Now, I know herbs aren't technically vegetables, but stick with me because these 3 act more like leafy greens than traditional herbs. You're harvesting big handfuls, not just a few leaves for garnish. Cilantro indoors is completely different from cilantro outdoors. It grows slower, which is actually perfect because it means it doesn't bolt and turn bitter. You get weeks of harvesting instead of days. Start from seed in a deep pot because cilantro has a long taproot, and keep it in bright light. Dill is the speedy one. From seed to harvest in about 3 weeks, and the fresh dill flavor is so much more vibrant than dried. I grow in short bursts, planting new seeds every 2 weeks, so I always have fresh dill available. Parsley is the marathon runner. It takes a bit longer to get started, about 4 weeks from seed, but once it gets going, you can harvest from the same plant for months. Italian flat leaf parsley grows faster than the curly type indoors. The beauty of these 3 herbs is they all prefer cooler temperatures, making them perfect winter indoor crops. And the amount of money you'll save not buying those ridiculously overpriced plastic herb containers at the grocery store, You'll pay for your entire indoor garden setup in a month. Before we wrap up, I want to hear from you. Which of these 7 are you most excited to try first? Drop a comment below and let me know. And if you've already tried growing any of these indoors, share your experience. This community learns best when we share what works and what doesn't. Also, if you found this helpful, share it with a friend who loves gardening. Let's get more people growing through winter. Now, let me give you 3 quick bonus tips that will make all of these vegetables grow better indoors. First, water from the bottom when possible. Fill your saucer and let the soil wick up moisture. This prevents damping off disease and keeps your soil from getting crusty on top. It's a game changer for seedlings. Second, don't obsess over grow lights unless you have zero natural light. A bright windowsill grows amazing food. I've grown everything on this list with nothing but window light. If you do want lights, a simple LED shop light works perfectly fine. Skip the expensive purple grow lights. Third, embrace smaller harvests. Indoor gardening isn't about growing enough lettuce to feed the neighborhood. It's about having fresh food available. 2 cups of fresh microgreens per week beats 0 cups of fresh greens. Adjust your expectations and you'll love the results. Here's what I want you to take away from this video. Winter doesn't have to mean the end of fresh homegrown food. These 7 vegetables prove that you can garden year-round without spending a fortune or turning your house into a greenhouse. Start with just one. Pick the vegetable that excited you most while watching this video and get some seeds started this week. You'll be amazed at how quickly you see results. And that first harvest in the middle of winter will hook you forever. Thank you so much for watching Timeless Gardens. If you enjoyed this video, you'll love what we have coming up next about extending your growing season without expensive equipment. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. Until next time, keep growing, keep learning, and remember that every garden tells a story. I'll see you in the next one.